welcome. In this video we are going to make what I call a free flow chicken. I do have a pattern that I'm working on for a small chicken, but it's still in progress. But all in all, we can also do this chicken together free flow. When I say free flow, like I always say, I don't follow any pattern. I tend to think of the shape instead of the stitch count, because sometimes I don't get the stitch count right, but I'm working on that as well. So for this project you're going to need your main color. I have chosen this Baby Snuggles cream. I don't think the color is cream, but it's not white either, but this is what I'm going to use. Sometimes I do use yellow or brown or any other color that you choose. And you're going to need red yarn for the comb or the crown, whatever you call it. You're going to need a size 5 hook. I'm using this one, and you're going to need a darning needle for joining the top, and also you're going to need 2 stitch markers or some sort of stitch marker. That could be even a piece of yarn. So let's get right into it. I hope it's going to be quick, because every time I say it's gonna be quick, it never ends up to be that way, but I'll try my best. Let's begin. So we are going to start with a magic circle, whichever way you do it. I'm not teaching basic crochet skills here, so just do it your way. So I'm going to start with the magic circle or magic ring, and I'm gonna put 12 single crochets in there. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11. I do 11 because once I figured that if I do 12 I end up with an extra stitch because of the one stitch I do here when I join. So I'm gonna make a slip stitch in the first single crochet to make 12 single crochets, whichever way you can. Sometimes it's hard to work when working on camera, but as you can see I'm struggling here with this yarn. If you're using worsted weight yarn, you could double it or you could just use it as is. So that's my 12. I won't even count, I just, like I say, go with the flow. I hope it ends up being okay. So now in the second row we are going to just make sure you tighten as much as you can. In the second row we are going to increase in every single crochet, so make, that's not the right part, so make 2 single crochets in every stitch. You're gonna have, I believe, 24 or 25, it doesn't matter. 1 2 3 4. Sorry, I'll put my stitch marker in the first stitch. 1 2 3 4. So this was my first stitch. I'm gonna put my stitch marker there. I don't even use stitch markers when I'm doing free flow, but that's okay. So 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 and 24. I think my stitches are a bit tight, so try and make yours as loose as you can or as tight as you work. That's all right. So I'm going to work, that's 24, so I'm going to work my first single crochet here in the, and I'll put my stitch marker there. So count now, that was the first one, and we are going to be, because that's row 2 and now we have 24, from row 3 to row 6 we are going to be making 24 single crochets around. So that's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24. So now we are sure we have the correct count. I'm gonna take this off. I'm gonna make my first single crochet and I will insert my stitch marker there. So let's make how many rows? We are gonna have a total of 7, so from row 3 to 6, so we are gonna make 3 more rows of 24 stitches, and we'll meet at row 6. I'm just gonna show you my thinking process, that for the this is something I just drew. So we are going to be working 1 2 3 4 5 6 rows, and then when we get to the 7th we are going to be making 4 single crochets stacked upon each other on either ends, and that will give us somewhat a shape that looks like that, which is pointed on both ends. So that's what we are looking for. If you're thinking about our goal, we are looking for a shape like that. Not good at drawing, and again my surface is not the best, but let's meet at row 6 so that we can do row 7 together. So we are only doing 24 stitches in every row until row 6, and I will see you then. Done up to row 6. So you're going to have something like this, like a tiny ball. Try and tighten your, make sure that your yarn is in the inside, and I just use the crochet to tighten it so that it's not gonna be, as you can see the yarn breaks very easily. So anyways, you have this shape now, like just the way you start the round item. So now in the first stitch where you had inserted your stitch marker, you're going to count from that, we are going to count 12. So 1, so that's the first one, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, and on the next stitch, the 13th, insert a stitch marker. So there you are. So you want something like that. Okay, now for row 7 we are going to insert 4 single crochets in the first stitch, and we are also going to be inserting 4 single crochets in the 13th. And then for the consecutive 3 rows, which is 2 rows, which is row 8 and 9, we are also going to be inserting 4 single crochets stacked upon the last cluster. Let's do it practically so we can follow along. So I'm going to do 4 single crochets, and the reason I do 4 single crochets is divisible by 2. Otherwise, if you do 3, then it's gonna be crooked on one way or the other. So 1 2 3 and 4. And now in the middle of these two, so 1 2, I'm going to insert this stitch marker right there. Okay, in between them if possible. Anyway, crochet is kind of tricky because you're not counting the leg, but we are counting the top part. So anyway, just insert the stitch marker on top of the cluster, and now we are going to be crocheting up to the next stitch marker. So you could choose to count those single crochets, or you could just ignore them, because the more you get fixated on the stitch count, sometimes you just keep undoing and never finish a project. So in that case, since we are doing free flow, let's just single crochet up to the next one. We are at the stitch marker, so we are going to insert 4 single crochets in that stitch. So 1 2 3 and 4, and on top of those insert your just insert your stitch marker right there. And now you're gonna do the next row, which is row number 8, and it's going to be a repeat of that row. So just single crochet until you get your stitch marker, and that means you're single crocheting in every stitch, including the ones we added. So I'm at the stitch marker, I'm gonna take it off and I'm gonna put 4 single crochets there. So 1 2 3 and 4. Okay, on top of it I'm gonna put my stitch marker. You're going to continue single crochets in every stitch until we get to our stitch marker again. I'm at the stitch marker, and this is gonna be my stack number 2, so I'm putting there 4 single crochets. So 1 2 2 3 and 4. In the middle I will put my stitch marker there. Now we'll keep doing this until we have 3 clusters on top of each other. That means up to row 9. So this is going to be my last cluster on the stitch marker, so I'm gonna make 4. 1 2 3 and 4. Those go in the same stitch, and now as you can see, I'm already getting the shape that we talked about in the beginning. So that's the last one on this side, and we are gonna make 1 more on this side. You could choose to put your stitch marker just to keep it there, or maybe not. Now we're gonna put 4 single crochets on top of this cluster. So 1 2 3 and 4. That's the last cluster. Okay, we're back at the beginning, and now we are not going to put another cluster. We are just going to single crochet around. So that was 1, 2. I really don't pay attention to stitch count, but if you want to count, you could go ahead and make some notes, but I just free flow. So for this row, we're just single crocheting around, no more clusters, no increase, just 1 single crochet in each stitch. Okay, now we're done with row 10, and this is where the shaping comes in. So hopefully you have a shape like this. If not exactly, don't worry about it. As long as you have something like that, it will work just fine. Even if it's just a round thing, it will still turn out as a cute chicken. So here we go. We are going to be joining on top here, and we are only going to be using the outer loop or the front loop. So we are going to be picking up this one and leaving the back one. That way we have a seamless, sort of a seamless, like a seam that doesn't really bulge out, or look something like that. So I will go ahead and cut a length of piece of yarn, and take your darning needle and just thread it. And now we are going to be joining the top part. As you can see, the most important thing is that you get that shape, or just some sort of a shape. Even if it was just round like that, it will still be okay. So we are going to join now using only the outer loop. So I'm going to take that, and we're going to join the top part. And once you join a little bit, or maybe you could choose to put in the eyes before you go too far, just so that it's not too hard to get in there. But I'll do 3, then I'll put in the eyes. Okay, I'm gonna put in the eyes somewhere between row 9 and 10, so right here, and I will just make sure there is one eye on this side and another one on the other side. So go ahead and put some safety eyes if you have any. If you don't, you can always use some buttons, or just embroider some sort of eyes on there. So between row 9 and 10, I'll put the eye. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll put the eye right here. And that, just make sure you secure it nice. And then using that eye, I'll estimate where the next one will be, but still is between row 9 and 10. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no, 9 and 10. Anyways, somewhere here, I believe. Doesn't have to be perfect, but make it as perfect as you can. But it's handmade, so it doesn't have to be squeaky, whatever. Anyways, so there are my eyes, and now we can go ahead and join the whole part. But when you get almost to the end, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops, we need to make it flat like that. So don't join up to the end. I'll see you there, and we can work on the shaping together. And before getting there, also we have to stuff the chicken. So as you can see, I don't have a bulge like this because I'm only using the outer loop, just this part. I'm almost sealed, but now we have to stuff the chicken. As you can see, it's coming along well. The eyes are there on both sides, and as you can see, we have a nice shape. Instead of having just a round blob, this one is more shapely, but also if you choose to make the round one, it's cute as well. So let's stuff in here, and then we are going to flatten this part because it's the tail. If you don't have polyfill, you can always use yarn scraps or any other sort of filling that you choose. Make sure to stick a little bit in the head. It's better to put little by little, because then if not, they become big bulges. So don't overstuff, just sufficient to keep the shape. Okay, here is our stuffed chicken now, and as you can see, it is developing the shape that we intend. So now we are gonna continue sealing it using the outer loops only. Sorry. Now, before you seal this part, as you can see, we are going to shape it into a tail. So we are going to stop using the outer loop. You're going to put your needle right through into the back like that, and put it right back in. It doesn't matter which way, but you will see the end result if you want to just watch before you do it. So we are kind of sealing where the filling is, but we are leaving this part as a tail. I just make sure to do that quite a bit so that there's no chances of the stuffing coming out. Now I have that my tail is flat like that. Now to shape just a little bit in the middle here, I'm gonna use the same yarn, and I'm gonna come right back into the middle and just tighten it a little bit. Sorry. So the same way you would weave in the edges, just put in your yarn through and through so that we get back to the middle, and tighten it a little bit to shape the back. So just keep weaving it in. And now here we are at the middle. So I'm just gonna press it a little bit and sort of pinch and take a loop from a neck from the line below right here, or this one, whichever one, so that it's something like that. Okay, so let's just pinch that and that. Okay, so there we are, a little bit of a better shape. And now this same yarn I will make the beginning of a comb, so I'm just gonna weave it in through up to maybe about 7 stitches to the end, end of the head. So there we are, and now I can lose the darning needle and use a crochet. So I'm going to pick up single crochets here, at least 7, 8, anything. So 1, 2, 6, and 1 almost here at the front, so 7. Now before I yarn over, I'm gonna change the color into red for the comb or the crown. And now I'm going to be using the red one. So for this red part, we are going to be doing a series of single crochet, half double crochet into the next one, and then in the same stitch, in the next one we do a double crochet, 1, 2 double crochets in that one, and then we are going to repeat half double crochet and a single crochet. So half double crochet and 1 single crochet. So it gives you that sort of that shape of a comb. And now we're going to repeat the same series again. So we are going to have, we already have a single crochet, so we are going to do half double crochet, then 2 double crochets in the next. Becomes a little bit tricky to work when the chicken is stuffed, but take your time. So 2 double crochets, half double crochet in the next one, and a single crochet. You could do a slip stitch just to finish, or you could just choose to fasten off. So I'll do a slip stitch and I will fasten off. Okay, I will cut that yarn and I will weave in this yarn into the comb. The edges at your own time. This is usually not the most favorite part of finishing anything, but just put the yarn into the stuffing and pull it through. That way the likelihood of it coming off is not as high. I'm gonna weave in this one as well. I'm gonna weave it in right into the comb right there. Snip it right there. Don't worry if you squeeze your chicken, it's gonna come back to shape it either way. So your chicken is finished. You could choose to leave it that way, or you can use brighter yellow or white to put in some, like feet right there and a beak, and we are gonna do that together now so you can see. So they're not gonna be crocheted, you're just gonna embroider them in, or you could choose to use other crochet techniques to make to create some sort of feet. Or so I pick either side, and that's where I'm gonna start. And we could actually start with the beak so we can secure that yarn. So pull it right through and not completely. As long as that one disappears, now we're gonna make some sort of a beak here. Now that I'm making this on camera, it may not be as perfect, but take your time. It's gonna take time for you to get used to the whole process. So if you're an avid crocheter, it might take you 15 minutes, 30 minutes, whichever way, just go with the flow. So I'm gonna make some feet here. So notice I pulled that yarn all the way up to make the beak. Now I'm gonna use the same one here down to make some sort of feet. So I'm just gonna go in maybe three, 4 times, and then go to the other side and repeat the same process. So I'm just gonna go right across. This is just an estimation, it's not like measured or anything. So now I'm gonna put the same number of stitches or whatever. So how many? 2, 3, and 4. Just another one to secure. So could be 3, could be 4, as many as you want. And then I just need to secure this back here. So I'll just secure it with itself. I'll make a knot. Plushie yarn is a little difficult to work with, but once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. So now I'm going to weave in this yarn into the chicken again, and our chicken is done. So let's see if you got what you hoped for. But here is the chicken. As you can see, this is the shape. We did not join there, so we flattened it. Or if you join, it's still gonna look cute. Just don't stop up to the end. So that part is flat. This part you join together and pick up single crochets there and add the red part, and embroider the beak and the feet, and there is your chicken. It may not be very stable, but you are done with your chicken. Congratulations. I hope you are able to follow the tutorial or the make along, and I hope you make more chicken. If you do, tag me at Paris Crochet Flow on Instagram or comment on this video. I hope you make many more chicken, especially if you're preparing for a market. It's an easy make. This one seemed long because we had to do the instructions at the same time, but it's a very easy make. Usually takes me less than 30 minutes. So enjoy your chicken and make more. Thank you. And my apologies, when I was making this chicken, part of it did come out of view, so I will try and fill in the information maybe you've missed, but not much. So this is why we needed the shape that I initially explained on paper. So we need it to have this part for the head and that part for the tail, and that's what it turns out to be once you put in the comb. So the chicken is finished. That part is not sealed, but if you join it, then do not start. It's still gonna look cute, but that's what the chicken looks like. I used the yellow yarn to just embroider some feet there and the beak, and that's what it looks like. This chicken takes me maybe 30 minutes to make when I'm not recording anything, and I hope you get to that point when you can make it pretty fast in preparation for your market. And you could make a bigger one, or I think this is the smallest with 24 stitches, but if you choose to make a bigger one, is the same concept. Just do increases on both ends to shape it, but even if you don't shape it and just make a round thing and join on top, it's still going to be a cute chicken. So have fun making more chicken, and if you are planning to do a market, I hope they sell, and if they do, make sure to tag me or to make a comment down below and let me know how your chicken making goes. Thank you. Whatever you do, just go with the flow. Thank you. Bye.